you call the meeting to order?
I call the meeting to order. Do I have to bang the thing?
No, I didn't hear you call it, I'm sorry.
No. That's not us.
Anybody here testifying on any of the cases listed on the agenda? Okay, can you please stand and raise your right hand, please? To swear you in, code enforcement officer. Do you solemnly swear or affirm under pains and penalties of perjury that the testimony you are about to give today before this board shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Chris Coleman,
Here.
Diane Sykes,
Here.
Maureen Cooper,
Here.
We only have 3 board members there to resign. Oh, Michelle and John.
Okay, we still have one.
Yes.
Yeah. Who are we waiting on?
You.
You to give approval of the minutes. Don't we need a motion to approve the minute?
Yes, but you have to announce that's what you're asking for.
I have to announce what, I'm sorry.
That's what you're asking for.
Okay, I'd like a motion to approve the minutes. I personally am not going to approve them, but I'd like a motion if you want to approve them.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes.
Do we hear a second?
Well, I think that's the second, and then we can have discussion and
No, I
then.
think the discussion should be before the
Oh,
second,
okay.
I believe,
Oh, okay.
right, Karen?
No, it's the opposite way. You need a second and then
Okay.
discussion.
I think it's our second motion. I second the motion.
Now we can open it up for discussion.
Discussion, go ahead, Chris.
One thing I'm wondering, when I went to the commission meeting, there was some issues about our particular meeting, but I don't see anything in the minutes. And what I'm wondering about if they're looking to get rid of the code enforcement board. We don't have any proof of what happened in the meeting. We don't have anything that.
I personally do not think the minutes are a reflection of the meeting, and I cannot approve them, that's my feeling. So you can do what you want. I think they need to be revised to better reflect what occurred.
Because there's been a lot of things said about the meeting that didn't happen, or I didn't see anyway, so.
Okay, can I explain? The minutes are to be said as what is said and not what is done. So it's just a matter of whatever happened on that particular case. I don't have to do a verbatim, because that's what's going to end up happening with me doing verbatim, and it's going to be a 10-page document. You know what I mean? So with motions, according to Robert's Rules of Order, it is what is said and not what is done. I mean, what is done and not what is said. I apologize. I apologize for the mix-up. So whatever is said, whatever is done on each case is what is supposed to be in there. And the motion on each case is verbatim. But whatever is discussion or whatever else, and if you guys want a copy of the meeting from last month, you can sure come in and I can give you a copy of the recorder.
I would like to request a copy.
One of the members already,
Pardon me?
one of the members of the town already said they had a copy of it already, so I'm like, I can get a copy of the meeting.
You have to
It's a request. You gotta request it.
Request it from Karen, I believe. Okay, so now we have a motion and we have a second. So now what? So
You have a motion to second. Do you all approve of the minutes or you don't have to approve them? But I don't know if you want me to do verbatim, then it's,
Not
Like I
verbatim,
said-
but I think there should be some mention because that last meeting is what caused the huge uproar, that's a nicer word, yeah. That makes it look like we did something wrong and they wanna fire us and get a magistrate and everything else. That meeting is what happened that caused it. And there's nothing in here that reflects that. It looks like peachy keen, good meeting. And I just don't feel like that's the true reflection of what happened at the meeting. I'm not trying to be difficult, I'm
no,
sorry.
no, you're fine. I'm just trying to figure out how, because if you've seen a meeting one way and we seen it a different way, who's right and who's wrong? That's why you can't go with a verbatim.
It doesn't have to be
Charles, you want to
verbatim.
step up for this, please?
But you were so upset, you got to stay home from work the next day.
I was upset.
So, and that's.
So you want me to put that in there and say I was
Well-
upset? You know what I mean? That's the thing. It's like you can't,
We need to
But
decide,
something has
You
to
know.
be said.
we should decide at what level we want the detail from the last meeting. I believe.
Yeah, we're going through this a little bit with the commission of boiling minutes. There just need to be the motion that was made, the case, the motion, and the result of the vote, rather than discussion about, rather than, she said, a verbatim representation of the discussion. So the minutes, this is just like we're doing a commission meeting now, where it comes down to just what's the item, what was the motion that was made, that's verbatim. And then the results of the outcome of the vote, who made the motion, who made the second, and what was the tally of the vote. But we don't, because in the commission meeting, we're getting into discussion, well, I never said that. So then you may say, well, it's not saying I said X, Y, Z, and I don't see it in here. So we have to go back to listen to the audio all over again, and confirm that what you're asserting you said was actually said. And then it has to come back, and we were just going round and round. So we have to rely on Robert's rules, which is the item, the motion, the second, and the vote.
Well, it just seems ironic that you're making that decision at this point in time. This is, our last code enforcement meeting.
It is?
Is
Only
this,
for this year. Is that what you mean?
well, no, I thought that we were disbanded after this.
Are we?
no.
Or,
I'm not aware of
is the
that.
code enforcement,
Nobody let me know.
okay,
Are we?
No,
Yeah.
there's staff was directed to bring back an ordinance, which would typically require 2 readings. So it'd be December and January would be the first and second reading.
we were assuming that it's gonna pass on these readings.
If it passes.
That it would be done in January. So it's conceivable you could still have a January meeting if the ordinance passes. If it doesn't pass, your meeting will continue.
Well, I saw your letter that you wrote the commission about the code enforcement board. My question is, did you hear the entire audio?
I did, I listened to the meeting.
Okay. And yeah, out of hearing that you heard some negativity from that?
I don't remember what I wrote. I did clarify it wasn't as bad as I had thought it was gonna be, the negativity. And then I indicated in my comments that I think people were kind of collapsing commentary later on social media with what actually occurred at the meeting, rather than distinguishing the two. So I did make that comment that,
We had to get out of this.
I would like to formally disagree that there was negativity at the last meeting. Were you here?
no, but my staff both came to me afterwards and said it was bad, wish you were here. We didn't feel,
It wasn't
I'd
bad,
like to know what the
well, their
issues were.
experience was that,
because I didn't do what they wanted me to do. And the way I read the statutes, I'm allowed to run the meeting the way I see fit. If gentlemen wanted to speak, we allowed him to speak. I mean, I don't, there would have been no problem. He didn't say anything wrong. I just don't understand.
I get that. But
And then-
but
and
to
then-
the issue at hand, the minute, and Pam said that typically your minutes have not included your discussions of the case. in the
I don't
past.
want discussions and I don't need verbatim. I just, personally, my opinion, I could be wrong. It should say something that there was, whatever word you want to use, discourse, a disagreement at the meeting that caused some people to be upset. Some little notation of what happened, because we're getting thrown under the bus, in my opinion, as doing something wrong. And at the following week's commission meeting, which unfortunately I could not attend, I was really thrown under the bus, and somebody stood up and said my behavior was appalling. I don't even know what I did. You want to see appalling? I can get appalling. I'm trying not to get upset. But it wasn't anything bad that night. I didn't think, and I asked everyone if they wanted to speak, of my co-members. Nobody wanted to speak, and then everybody was allowed to say what they wanted. And then Ms. Eckhart got up at the commission meeting and said that Spicer resigned because of my behavior. I don't get it.
Would you want to amend the motion to add a particular statement to the minutes?
Something, that would be nice, yes.
If you're not prepared, would you want to table these minutes? until
Let's
next
table the
Yes.
minutes, that's wonderful. We table the minutes and we'll
you
revise
could
them.
Prepare something, send it to the clerk
Perfect,
for distribution.
I appreciate that.
I make a motion that we table the minutes and have Mr. Rudd revise them for approval by the chair before they're submitted.
Well, you're going to submit
If you want me to, I'll do that.
submit something you'd like, and then you guys can vote on that.
Okay, that's what we'll do.
I second.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on. Do we have to do all in favor? I don't know. Do we
Yes.
have to do all in favor?
Yes.
Ken?
I,
Aye.
We're ready to proceed?
Yes, I thought, I was waiting on Karen, I didn't know, were we waiting on me? We're ready to proceed, yes.
This case is case number 230064, Develop Title Land Trust at 315 Edgewood Avenue, Crescent City, Florida. Mr. Bellet is here. I have a copy of the presentation that I'm presenting to the court for you. No. Yep, I'm looking at that. This is a violation of chapter 10, section 10-20, duty of property owners to keep lots clean. copy of the code that was cited. Violation was first observed on May 17th, 2023, with a notice going out on May 22nd, 2023. With a compliance date of June 6th, 2023. Notice of hearing and statement of violation was mailed, certified mail, and the receipt was returned for today's hearing. There's pictures of the property that I took on August 31st, 2023. You can see the house is in dilapidated condition. There's a pile of yard debris that's there on October 23rd, 2023. This picture was taken yesterday, and you can see this, the debris is still there. Recommend that the board issue an order finding the facts, conclusion of law and order that the property owner is in possession and control of the property. The owner is in violation of chapter 10, section 10-20. The Crescent City Municipal Code, and that the property owner was properly notified for the hearing today. Also recommend the fine stated December 19th with a $50 per day fine. And that pretty much concludes my presentation, except the last slide. So if you'd like to give Mr. Bell an opportunity to speak, you may.
Yes, I'd like to speak. The dates on the prior, slide, what were those? That there were,
December 4th, yesterday.
okay. Was when,
It's in your PowerPoint.
oh, okay. This one?
Here.
Okay.
October 23rd. The next two pictures, they were both taken on October 23rd.
Okay,
And then these two pictures were taken on August 31st.
okay. It looks to me like the last slide, the yard debris was out by the road for Raceboro, correct?
It's there in October. It's there in December.
Then we should probably get a hold of Raceboro and find out what they're not picking up.
It's not picked up because it's not properly bundled.
Okay,
Bundle it?
Yes. Oh, I don't think so.
well, if there's no water, then Raceboro won't pick up because there's not a bill, so, okay, well, we have to find out, I suppose, the first thing is if there's water and Raceboro is supposed to be picking it up, and if Raceboro is supposed to be picking it up, why are they not picking it up? That would be my question, I guess. So, is there water at the property?
Good evening.
How you doing?
Hi, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine, it's fine. Of course, I'm JJ Gullett. I think we're claiming 234 somewhere right now for the new address. There is not water nor electricity in that building. I think that building's in the same condition now as it has been for 30 years.
Okay.
That building's not anything new, but I do want to digress first before we talk about the building yard debris. I believe our service on the code matter is faulty. That should be bifurcated into two separate items. So we'll talk about the yard debris first. So first, under that section 1020 says the owner, right, has a duty to maintain. I do not own the real estate that the yard debris is on. That is not our yard debris. From what our yard guy has told us, that handles the new office going in and the parking lot going through there, that apparently that is just debris that's falling into the road, and then someone is removing it from the paved right of way to the grass right of way. So the second page of what I handed out is a survey from when we bought it, and if you look, so north is up on that piece of paper, but if we'll look around the northwest part of the survey on page 2, you'll sort of see the curving, how it makes, sort of comes down Edgewood and then curves back to the house or to the office. So you can see that curving. And if you look on the first page, on the top right, hard to put in here, but the top right and the bottom left, you can see that curving by the house. So if you follow that curving, that goes down about 5 feet past the yard debris. That is right-of-way property. That is not Gullett Title Land Trust property. So whomever is picking up yard debris off the asphalt right-of-way and placing it on the grass right-of-way, that's who really should be noticed as far as the yard debris goes, I think we've already paid our yard guy to pick it up once, and he's like, this stuff's all the road, somebody was throwing it, and then now, when I was there yesterday, we just had a bunch of cameras done, so pretty soon I'll be able to tell you what's throwing it around. But they're throwing yard debris, Bud Light cans, I don't drink beer, I did, it won't be Bud Light. But, so I've noticed cans were in there, so, you know, bifurcation of this code really is what should happen. That way, whoever's handling the right of way, they're not owned by me. You can plainly see I don't own anywhere near the right of way. And, you know, on a personal note on the debris, I believe that's even selective enforcement. I just happen to drive around a little bit and take like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pictures of similar yard debris piles. I don't know why we're focusing on this yard debris pile. So I think that one's put to bed. As far as the building goes, yes, we are aware of the building. We actually have a contract to have it demolished right now in January. We're hoping to have it in the office by the end of this year, but, so they will be demolishing the building. We were contemplating on, are we gonna improve that also? And I know it's gonna take about $300-400 off the city's tax rolls, but we're gonna get that demolished once the contractor has on his schedule to come in pool. So there's really not much more I can do to move that up. It's been there for 30 years in its condition. And we've actually pulled out some sinks and appliances in there that were rehabbed and put into the new office for to pay homage to the antiqueness of the place. But that's really all I have about this, which should be 2 separate matters. So if we have any other questions, but yes, there's no water and no electricity in that building. Thank goodness.
Because, the reason for that question was because Waste Pro only picks up yard waste if you pay a water bill. That was the reason.
So if it was my trash, I could, I guess, literally move it on the front of my other property right next door and pick it up, but I mean, it's pretty good yard debris. I have no problem paying where I pick it up. It'd be fine for city property that I don't own. That's sort of not called for.
Okay, I have a question for Mr. Rudd, if you don't mind. 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe 4, I'm not sure, right here on Florida, first house, there was a pile exactly like that on the side of that house. And I believe you drove up, I'm pretty sure it was you, and took a picture of it. And a short time later, a city truck pulled up and took it all away.
The city or Waste Pro?
What, I think it was a white city, look at the city, Crescent City truck, pick up that? Yeah. So I don't, if the city's gonna pick it up from right there, why can't they pick up that? I mean, I don't know.
Well, I don't know that, I remember taking a picture of that pile and sending it to Waste Pro, asking what was the status, because,
Well, it was, definitely was not a dump truck. I mean,
that's a
it's not-
residential
It
property.
could have been a Waste Pro pickup truck.
It could have been a Waste
Well,
Pro.
oh, okay.
They won't pick up commercial, accounts. And so I wrote to them and said, this is actually residential. They did have some confusion that was commercial. So I think they came and got it.
Okay,
This one, I just feel like if Mr. Gold, I think if you lived in that house, I don't think you would leave that trash out there in your front yard and say, that's the city's right of way. All over the city, everybody has right of way in front of their house, and we hold them accountable for cleaning up the debris, whether it blew there, or somebody dropped it there, or they dragged it there and piled it there. So we have been chasing down the old piles that we've been frustrated with Waste Pro and asking them to handle this. And typically, if there's an account there and they should have got it, they grab it. If there's no account, they'll inform us that there's no account there. There's no way to charge the owner. Or if the pile isn't properly sized, they're required to provide notification to the property owner that they'll charge them to take it away because it's not properly sized.
I've had tree branches fall on my street, and I've actually seen the city worker get out and drag it right to my yard instead of letting it in front. And just leave it away.
who doesn't want
Wants me to fix it,
to
and
chop it up?
chop it up.
Chop it up.
And then I'll caveat, Mr. Rudd, that is correct. However, we normally don't see like 20-foot difference between the right of way and property line. I mean, they're not taking it 20 feet onto your property. That's how far you have to get to from the pavement to our property is 20 feet. That's a whole nother right of way. That's not two right of ways that have to drag all this branches over. So that is correct. Yeah, generally we'll see, 2-3 foot strip grass and a 3 or 4 foot. So we're talking 7-8 feet would normally be, the outer perimeter of the right of way for the sidewalk, and not 20 feet, which is a little over 20 feet is what we have here between the subject property and the county property. That 20 feet's a big swath. Be like, okay, we're responsible for everything that everybody wants to dump in a 20-foot right away.
Is that the case? Yeah, that's the case. If somebody
Yes.
puts stuff in your
Yeah.
right of way,
Yeah.
you're responsible for getting it up.
Correct.
Okay.
The city has an ordinance that states that.
Yeah, because there's another citizen in town that lives close to Highway 17, and her yard gets used as a garbage can for everybody drinking beer going down the road. They throw it out in her yard. She's gotta pick up beer cans every day.
Yeah, and state of Florida does dirt ditches for the highway, and that's only about 20 feet outside of a pavement. Sometimes 30, 40, talking about larger highways. So yeah.
Every property owner in Crescent City is responsible for maintaining the right of way for their house, no matter how big it is.
The right of way, so including asphalt, they have to maintain the asphalt, if that's the right of way for their house. Is that what you're saying?
Not the paved road, but the
We
grass
just
right
said
of
right
way.
of way, so I wanted to clarify.
Right. The
So,
grass right of way,
Okay.
not the pavement. But the sidewalk, is responsible for maintaining that, if you have one.
just because we have one. That, I know we're gonna be fixing with the city, this entrance way, so, but, yeah, 20 foot, they're responsible for everything, calling the asphalt pretty much over, I think that's a little obtuse. I don't think 10, 20 is meant to say, I cover everything that's not paid. So, and as far as the house now, so we'll get to that, I think we talked about, what I don't know. Hopefully we, just continue with time, we know we're scheduled for January, so if you put a end date of January on any fine store, I would appreciate that. But,
January 30th?
Yep.
First?
yeah, I understand they're scheduled, last time I texted him a week or two ago, it was middle of January. And honestly, I don't know if he's gonna be dealing with the city for the demo permit or, or the county, but yeah, he's got the demo permit and all that kind of stuff, so that's currently we're on his schedule for the middle of January.
January 31st is okay with me.
Okay. So, do I make
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I make a motion that fines should not accrue on this property unless it is not in compliance as of January 31st, 2024.
I second.
Chris Coleman,
Aye.
Diane Sights,
Aye.
Marie Cooper,
Aye.
Have you applied for a permit yet for the demolition?
Contractors handling that. I don't know if he's gonna be good too, so I'll talk to him.
You may want to come back. It may take longer than, we have 6 weeks between now and then, We're almost 8. We've got 7 between now and the end of January. It may take more than 6 weeks to get a permit to tear the house down. So
When I heard him, he said he'll get the permit, it should only take a week or two, but that's outside of my realm. So,
in my experience, it takes a long time.
Should we amend the motion?
Well,
please?
that's why I'm asking if you want to do that.
Yes. I do.
yeah, so I have to get a permit, I'll tell these grand pool, apply for the permit now. So if it takes 4 to 6 weeks, it probably will not pay till January, so we think it in February.
I would amend the motion to say January 31st or when the permit is approved, whichever is later.
Well, no, I would give a date certain. If you want to extend the compliance date, I'd suggest giving a date certain. You know, at the end
Well,
of
how can we give a date certain if we don't know what date?
Well, it would take, it's been my experience, that it takes about 6 weeks to get a permit. And we have just about 7 weeks to the end of January. So if you want to extend it to the end of February.
Yes, end of February, okay.
I
I'm
don't
in
know what the last day of February is. Anybody know?
29th.
It's not a leap year, so.
29th.
Looking right now. It's the 29th.
29.
Oh, it's leap year. Oh, okay.
So you can actually,
Woo! You did that today. All right,
I
that's
was reading
cool.
an article about those 13 months, every month would have 28 days.
Okay. I make a motion that we extend, and do not start the fine running until, the latter of which the property is in compliance, or February 29th, 2024, whichever is later.
thank you.
Thank you again.
I need a second.
I'll second
Yes,
that.
absolutely.
Diane Sights,
Aye.
Chris Coleman,
Aye.
Maureen Cooper,
Aye.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This next case is case number, are we ready to move on?
Yes, ma'am.
230111, Putnam Commercial Investments Incorporated, or LLC. It's 920 Oakwood Street. The violation is chapter 10, section 10-20, duty of the property owners to keep the lots clean. Copy of the code. I first observed this violation on August 24th, 2023. The notice of code violation going out on August 28th, 2023. The compliance date of September 11th, 2023. This notice of hearing statement of violation was mailed, certified mail, was not returned, so I posted the property for today's hearing 10 days prior to today. This is 2 pictures that I took on September 14th, 2023, when you see the property's overgrown. This is on Oakwood near Winn-Dixie. 2 more pictures that I took on September 14th, 2023. These were also taken on September 14th. These pictures were taken yesterday. Someone has done any mowed the inside of the property, but didn't mow the corner or remove the part. Recommend that the board issue an order finding the fact conclusion of law and order. The property owner is in possession and control of the property. The property owner is in violation of chapter 10, section 10-20 of the Crescent City Municipal Code. And the property owner was properly notified of today's hearing. Staff further recommends the compliance date of December 19th with a fine of $50 per day. So again, as of December 19th, if the property is not in compliance, and will continue until the property is in compliance or is repeated afterwards. Money will be placed on the property. Corrective action required would be to mow and maintain the property, remove all trash and debris items, and remove all the torn and tattered tarps along the fence. That concludes my presentation.
Anybody have a motion?
Well, I guess that's my question for you in discussion. I make a motion that we follow the code enforcement officer's recommendation.
I second.
Discussion. We can have discussion now?
Yes.
Okay. You said that the owner was notified, but your
Certified mail.
certified mail was never received, it wasn't picked up, or?
The green card did not come back. I don't believe the certified mail did not come back. I don't have the mail back. I did get an email from an attorney saying the property was in compliance. And I sent an email back saying it was not in compliance.
Did you tell them what was wrong in the
did.
email? Okay,
And in the notice of code violation, I always explain what needs to be done. These are the pictures that I sent back to them,
okay,
And then nothing?
and nothing. I didn't get
Okay, I
anything
see.
back from them.
okay,
Would you
yeah,
agree?
yeah, that's it. If notification was given and an email was sent to you and you sent an email back with all of the proof of the things that still need to be done, and they're still not done, then, I would say that yes, I was concerned that maybe the property owner, if they had not received the certified letter, was not aware, but if the attorney responded to you, obviously, the property owner is aware. And, yes, and that if the attorney knows that that includes the outside of the fence and the tarps, then I would have to agree that the owner should be responsible.
So the motion stands,
Mm-hmm.
motion second, yeah.
Chris Coleman, Diane Sights,
Aye.
Maria Cooper,
There's no one here that wanted to speak on that property, is it?
Pardon me?
I was making sure that
Oh,
no one
oh,
wanted to speak on that particular property. Next case. Is case number 230112, Kayla Palmer and Joshua Wolf. It's 527 Palmetto Street. Violation of chapter 10, section 10-20, duty of property owners to keep lots clean. Copy of the code. I first observed this violation on September 5th, 2023. The notice of code violation being mailed to the property owner on September 6th, 2023. And that letter was returned within a couple of days with a compliance date of September 21st, 2023. A notice of hearing was mailed and the certified receipt was not returned. So I posted the property for today's hearing. Two pictures that I took on September 5th, 2023. These pictures were taken on October 23rd, 2023. There's two houses on this piece of property. These pictures were taken yesterday. There's still some debris and vegetation on the side of the house there after they mowed it, after I posted it. This property came before the board maybe a year ago. The previous owner has passed. And these new owners came and asked for a reduction for the lien. But in any case, it stays in violation. It's in violation most of the time. Staff recommends the code enforcement board issue a finding of fact, conclusions of law and order, that the property owners in possession and control of the property owners in violation of chapter 10-20, chapter 10, section 10-20, and the property owners were properly notified for today's hearing. Further recommend a compliance date of December 19th with a fine of $50 per day to begin. It will continue to accrue until the property is in compliance or if the violation is repeated after compliance, and a lien be placed on the property. Corrective action would be to well maintain the property and remove all trash and debris. That concludes my presentation.
I have a question. I want to make sure I heard you right. You said there previously was a lien on the property?
The previous owner, I had cited them and they were dead. And I believe the heirs came and asked for a lien reduction so they could sell it to these people. So they were aware that there were code violations before.
Did we reduce the lien when they requested it?
Yes, we did.
Okay, can you go back to the pictures, please?
You have them in the package.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So they're over here, okay.
Do you have a question? That's on the corner of Palmetto and I want to say Cedar. Probably not seated.
Magnolia sticking in my head.
So could we
No,
streets
527 Palmetto. It's close to Lake Stella. Your friend lives on the corner.
Which one?
Palmetto and Maine, I think. I think I talked to you one day when you were there talking to your friend.
That's where I recognized this picture from. But it wasn't named, it's not named, it's on the other side. I thought I recognized it.
I don't remember what day that was.
I
I
thought it
remember
was-
the day, I don't remember the date it was, but I remember the day.
Yeah,
So they've been notified, they're aware, they haven't responded.
correct.
Okay. Right? We give people a chance, if they don't respond, we have no choice.
Okay, so,
I don't know if there's anyone here that wants to speak on behalf of this property either.
okay, let me just clarify, a letter was sent and it was returned, but the certified mail that was sent was not returned to you.
That's what she said.
Okay, and the new owner asked for an extension,
The certified mail was returned. Both were returned.
both the letter and the certified mail were returned.
They were both returned. And I
Okay,
posted the property for today's hearing.
oh. Okay, when you say you posted, what is that? The,
I take a copy of the notice of hearing and statement of violation, the property appraiser's website printout, and the notices that I have mailed to the property owner, and I stick them in a plastic bag and
Put them on the door.
staple it to a little wire and rack and put it in the front yard.
So that they know it's happening.
it's there, yeah. So,
They've mowed the property since then,
oh, okay. Love it, but
but
they
there's
didn't,
still some debris there and some trash there, and weeds. There's weeds, you know, they kind of mowed the front, which is when I took these two pictures yesterday. They haven't mowed the whole property, they just mowed the front yard.
so they thought that all they had to mow was what you could see from the street.
Well, you can see the whole property from the street. I don't want to speculate on what they were doing.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right.
A motion, anyone?
I'm trying to decide. And the recommendation,
If it's not cleared by the 19th, $50 fine.
by December 19th.
Yes.
All right, I move that based on non-compliance that the entire yard wasn't mowed, just front, that we follow the recommendation of the code enforcement officer to fine the owners beginning with the date of December 19th at $50 per day.
I second.
Diane Sykes,
Aye.
Chris Coleman,
Aye.
Maureen Cooper,
Aye.
Thank you. These last two cases are on the same property, and they're a lien reduction, and as far as I can tell, there is no one here, so we don't necessarily need to hear them. Usually if the violator is not here to ask for lien reduction, we don't hear the cases.
Okay, so even though they didn't come into compliance, they requested a lien reduction?
One of the violations is in compliance and the other one is not.
Okay, so maybe they were looking for a lien reduction on the one that was in compliance, or?
I'm not sure what they wanted.
Okay,
Ms. Williams wants to sell her property at 1014 and 1016 Clemens Lane And, if the property at 720 Bay has 2 liens on it, and since she's part owner of both.
I'm here to speak on this file also.
Okay.
I was just informed that today. I was not aware. Well, since September. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, do you know what they want to do?
I do.
Okay, so then go ahead. Because I don't have.
I've been rereading it since Friday. Okay. So, if you'll forgive the liberty, I sort of have to let you know about the 2 properties. And Liberty is a little bit of a soap opera. But as Ms. Williams was saying, so Arnita is trying to sell property. I want to make sure I get this correct. So Arnita is trying to sell clinics. The code enforcement is not on clinics, right? The action is on 724.
720 Bay.
720 Bay Street. So none of this is privileged information. In fact, it's all been recorded. So we have 2 pieces of property, 2 separate pieces of property that, we'll first talk about Clemens. So Clemens was originally bought in 1950. Okay, so this is where this over a soap opera by Hubert and Sadie. There's some issues culminating in a case in 1969 where Sadie had to file an action against Hubert, and the property was awarded to Sadie, bringing this all ties together. So Sadie owned clinics, right? Hubert was kicked off, it says in there.
May I stop you 1
Yes.
second? I don't need, but there is no lien on Clemens. It's the cross attachment of the lien from Bay, correct?
Correct. So
Okay.
Clemens has a lien. So I get back to it, the long story short, they're really hoping to get Clemens property released from the lien of Bay Street. It's a very contiguous, non-amicable tenants and common situation on Bay Street. They actually sued Diane, which is the owner. So, who was it? Arnita sued Diane in 2013, and for undue influence, and what how it read in the case was undue influence because Diane's 31 years younger than her husband. He hid in marriage from everybody, and then all of a sudden, now Diane owns the property. So they sued to try to get her off the homestead, which was Bay Street, and they did not prevail in that case. So immediately after that case was adjudicated on, and that was in May of 13, so then they filed a second suit on Clements to remove Diane from Clements, and that prevailed. So needless to say, Diane and Arnita just flat out are not the best friends in the world. So really, Arnita is being penalized because they did not prevail their 2013 lawsuit to get rid of the old homestead that was Hubert's, and now it's Diane's. So that's the only reason why Arnita is on title, is we didn't prevail in the lawsuit in 13. So now she has a cross attaching code lien on her house on Clements that she can't sell.
Why can't she just remove her name from the deed?
So it's too late because the code is already attached. So even if she does remove her name from the deed at this point, the lien of the code is going to be there no matter what for the next 20 years. So it's a little late to have her removed. She was granted half interest because her father gave her half interest originally in the house, and I don't know if she's quite wanting to give up her father's legacy, which is how a lot of people look at their parents' homestead, because it's been there since 1950. So I don't know if she's wanting to give up that legacy to someone 31 years younger that, may have come in and surreptitiously just took the dad's house. So that's another matter that And the reason why I'm just throwing on this tonight was back in September, October, I said, I don't have time. We pushed it to another attorney to hopefully take the case. I found out today, he's going to retain it. Personal reasons. So there will be some litigation coming out on Bay Street. So Arnita will still be on the hook if she wants to fight her interest in Bay Street. That, we can't do anything with that, and I will not come in and try to argue any, thing on Bay Street at this point. But as far as Clemens, she is, nothing anyone's done, she's being unjustly burdened by Diane's ownership of Bay Street. It's burdening her house on Clemens, she can't sell. So she's asking to have that lien partially released as to Clemens. She doesn't really want a fine reduction at this time. I mean, she just doesn't want anything, affecting the city's right to get Bay Street correct.
But the liens on Bay Street were filed in 2015 and 2018, and no one's ever done anything, correct, to fix anything.
Correct, on Bay Street.
The 2015 case is closed. There was a junk vehicle in the backyard and it was removed, April of this year.
We didn't satisfy that lien though, it's still
there.
there. I understand where she's coming from and I feel for her. What is your recommendation before we go any farther?
I didn't have one.
Oh, thanks a lot.
And I put it in writing this time.
My concern
At the
is,
end, because, well, this one, the 2015, I did break it down, how much the fine is and the percentages and the administrative costs. But on the one that's open, this one is from, not having a building permit for re-roofing the house on Bay. I didn't have a recommendation because there's so many different things that could happen. That's
Right.
why I didn't have a recommendation. There's a lot of things that you can do.
my concern is, and I so totally understand what he's saying and where she's coming from, but if we release her from this, it defeats the purpose of filing a lien that attaches to all of a person's property. Why wouldn't everybody then do that?
Because she couldn't get a permit.
I don't mean to be
Oh,
harsh.
no, it's fine, and we're not asking for her to be released necessarily, she's still gonna be on the hook for Bay Street.
She'll still be on the hook for Bay Street.
Yeah, she has,
But what is her incentive to do anything? They haven't done anything for 4 years or 10 years or whatever it is.
she's not very well incentivized to play nicely with Diane to get that. I think incentivizing for Anita would be after she gets this matter, then we're going to start working on the Bay Street matter to see about getting Arnita out of that now. Yeah, and was it admin costs are, what, 55 on both
Yes.
cases? And we have time tonight, and is she able to pay admin costs about $500 to just get that one partial release, because I know the other stuff's not being looked into.
Doesn't it have to go in front of the commission?
Can we do that?
We with the lien, we can do whatever we want. It's our lien.
Right.
But I do think that it would have to, it's the same as the recommendations y'all make, it would have to go to the commission. By this next Thursday. They can recommend. I don't see any reason why you couldn't. Now, let me be clear, I have the probate that they're talking about on the Clemens Lane, our firm did that, but I don't have any involvement in the code enforcement stuff. But, just to be upfront with everybody, but I don't see any reason why, if that was y'all's choice, why you couldn't recommend that, and then the commission would have to do what they did.
We'll have to leave it up to To the commission, is that what you said?
No, not to me, but you could at least decide something.
We make recommendations, and the commission has to vote on it.
Yeah.
And what exactly
And I
are
was
you
sure everybody, it
requesting?
was not Attorney Pickens who we were talking to about. And Miss Arleta, we were the
What exactly are you requesting?
a partial release of the, make sure I get the right,
That's
what I was the Clemens
What's the
property
incentive to
from
do it?
the code names on Bay Street. Bay Street.
But she's still be on the hook for it because she's still on stage.
So the lien will still be in place, but it won't encumber Clemens. That's what you're.
Exactly. So the full enforcement of the lien on Bay Street.
Basically like a partial release.
Exactly, yes.
I mean, I'm not the title person, but I would assume if the city filled out an affidavit that it didn't attach, then a title insurance policy would be.
In that neighborhood, essentially a partial release, so, you know, the city commission agrees,
I know.
in essence, it'd be the same. So county still have, or excuse me, the city will still have full authority to foreclose on the code lien, which would remove Arleta from Bay Street, so she still has a monetary interest.
We don't make recommendations and nothing changes, so we don't have to
Right.
make a motion to change something if they don't want to change it. We want to just leave it as it is, we make no motion. Does anybody want to make a motion? I'm sorry, you're just don't you? Or you, somebody else.
I think we have to have a motion to move it forward. Bobby, do we have to have a motion to move it forward?
So just leave it like it is?
Or just leave it like it is and deny the lien, the reduction? I think you have to deny the
If we
reduction.
don't do anything, then whatever's in place now is.
Yeah, they're asking
Yeah, I
for,
mean, it would just, their request for a reduction or release would die.
Would die.
Even there wasn't even a second, or a motion.
no, there wasn't a motion at all. Wouldn't you need a motion to deny it?
I make a motion that we deny the request for lien reduction and relief.
There you go, Diane.
I second.
One last thing, it will be a great tax increase. It will be a great tax increase once Ms. Arleta can sell the property. So we'll raise revenue for that respect.
It'll be a tax increase, is that what you said?
The property will have a high value once it sells. So not, we have enough to increase the values.
If she doesn't tear it down and rebuild it, we won't realize the tax increase for the improvement of the property.
Well, no, obvious on Clemens, when she sells it, it'll reach its full,
Oh,
now I'm with you.
Now I'm with you.
Okay.
yes,
No.
it'll reach its full assessment because it's been hindered by.
She can't sell it. She can't sell it until she satisfies.
Correct.
the deal.
Correct, so the taxes aren't gonna increase on Clemens when she, they'll increase when she sells it. But Bay Street's keeping her from selling it and keeping the taxes on Clemens from increasing the revenue. Tax revenue.
Is this the same case that came before us several months back and she had a young man that was with her that was the buyer?
No,
No,
Oh, okay.
That was Walnut,
Pardon?
that was on Walnut.
Oh, where he offered to reduce, yeah, okay, never mind, I thought it was the same one. Okay.
okay, we have a motion in a
Yes,
second.
we got on that, right?
Okay, Chris Coleman,
I,
Diane Sights,
Aye.
Maureen Cooper,
Aye.
Thank you again.
No, no,
No change.
no change.
No action taken.
no action, that's the word.
No action.
I would like a brief break if that's okay.
All right? Sure. Okay, what else do we have to do?
We're gonna go over the chapter 162 and the
Oh, okay. Great. I was gonna bring up, if this, before we move on, okay.
But yes. that-
Okay, you're live.
I included in your, are you ready to see?
Yes, I just have one question. On case 230112, is that address correct? Is it Palmetto Street or Palmetto Avenue?
It's Avenue.
It's Avenue, okay. We need to make a correction there.
Thank you.
Okay.
I included in your packets this evening, the, um, Attorney Governor, actually,
Attorney General.
Attorney
Thank you.
General.
Easy for you, son. Okay.
Opinion on code enforcement boards. And we'd like to go over if we can. If not, it's okay. I know I started, put everyone in an email. This first paper is the code
Pam.
enforcement board being a quasi-judicial board.
Pam, can you talk into your mic, please?
Talking to your mic.
Talking to your mic, thank you.
I thought it was.
No, it's letting me know that I can't hear you.
I don't think hers is on.
Hello, hello. Mic's on.
Hello?
Yours is on.
Yes, no?
No, you're not on.
It's not on.
Oh, that was on.
Okay. If Charles comes back. The first paper is the quasi-judicial board. The code enforcement board is a quasi-judicial board. It should not have any pre-knowledge of a case before it comes to the board.
That's true.
The second is the Attorney General's opinion on the special magistrate, where Lonnie Group asked the question about,
1-3.
Florida statutes 286.0114. People are not allowed to speak at code enforcement board meetings unless it's about a particular case that's on the agenda.
What are you reading from?
Hope she's reading
I'm not
right
reading.
here, but I have a question at some
Okay.
point. Do you want to wait till the end or?
No,
while
it's,
This Attorney General opinion is regarding special magistrate hearings. Is not,
According to the subject.
it says special magistrate and talks
code
of,
enforcement.
so is that necessarily the same as a not special magistrate and a volunteer code board?
it's the same, the special magistrate, and it says code enforcement hearings.
Code,
Conducted by a special magistrate.
Right, but it's still the same. The code enforcement board has the same guidelines as the special magistrate
Where does it say that?
in the 162, chapter 162.
Okay, I would like to see that, because I didn't see that when I was
It's in-
looking.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, 162, I'll check it.
Oh, it's Pam Bondi is the Attorney General, not Ashley Moody. She must have been the one before. Then I have a copy of the chapter 286 that governs public meetings. If anyone has any questions about that?
So what are you trying to tell us, that we shouldn't allow people to speak? Is that what we're trying?
Right, and the commission voted at our last meeting that the code enforcement board would not allow public.
Wow.
Well, I'm sorry, they voted, but like Pam said, isn't that the one that's going before the commission? It has to be a first reading and a second reading and then voted on?
That's the special magistrate. They're trying to adopt an ordinance that allows the city to have a special magistrate.
Which is not the same thing as what this is.
No. Now, this governs public speakings and reasonable opportunity to be heard. And then it describes what boards have to allow public comments and which boards do not allow public comments.
Isn't it optional though? I mean, like, there's 15 other cities around. I looked, Willaca, I mean, all that allow public comments. They can't all be doing it illegally.
So I probably clarify this. So the commission, I believe, voted to not allow public comments or direct y'all not to allow public comments as an official policy. But you are correct, it is not a prohibition, it's that they're not required to allow public comment, which I think is an important distinction.
It
between the
is,
two.
yes.
Yeah,
So it's not, if a city allows public comment, it's not illegal. But it's not illegal for a city to not allow public comment at a quasi judicial.
But doesn't it also say in the Florida statutes that the chairperson of any quasi judicial board can run the meeting as they see fit?
I'll have you happy to take a look at it. I don't know exactly what statute you're talking about.
That's chapter.
Look at my
162.
email that I sent you. I put it in there and you never responded to me. I sent you an email.
I didn't get an email.
I called your office and asked for your email address. And I sent an email to you and all the commissioners, everybody, Mr. Rudd, Pam, everybody. Not one person responded to me, except her.
Yeah, and I think there was an email to my secretary. I didn't get one directly.
Well, that's not good. I'm gonna resend it tomorrow to you.
So I can do my.
Because I put the copy of the statute in there.
Absolutely, I would be more than happy to take it.
Thank you.
can you just tell us what the statute says?
I just did. It says, I mean, I'm paraphrasing it. It says, let me get it right, the chairperson of a quasi, whatever they call it,
Judicial.
quasi judicial board can run the meeting as they see fit. So
choose
that's
to
what
allow public comment, then
that's what I thought. But now if the commissioners are gonna tell us no,
What about the planning and zoning board? Are they allowed, is there public comment at planning and zoning board?
That would
is
be,
Pam,
Yeah,
no?
they allow public comment at planning and zoning boards. They're not a quasi judicial board though.
What are they?
They're just a regular, they're a commission. It's not, they're not a board, they're a commission. Planning and zoning commission, they're not a board. So they're not a quasi judicial. Planning and zoning is to rezone
I know
where
what
you
it is.
guys,
I just
Yeah, we
didn't
know
know that
that.
the board was,
But-
I thought,
it's a commission board, so they allow public comment.
it's a commission board, but we're not. We're a quasi judicial.
Board.
Because we are allowed to impose penalties.
And you hear evidence.
And we can
And If someone got up and said, I want to complain about whatever, that would give you a predisposition to that property without,
with it, yeah.
hearing evidence,
So we only hear what is current and what is presented to us at the meeting.
right.
We do not hear anything that could be presented to the commission at a future date,
But
aside from what's in
Well,
a public citizen can't stand up and give a comment in general about something?
It shouldn't, no.
Right. Okey dokies.
And I think other boards, other code enforcement boards that allow public comments do not allow people to get up and speak about a specific piece of property. It's not a place to come here and complain, I want to complain about,
Right. But
whoever
if
down
someone
the
has a
street.
concern, I just think we should be able
But
to hear it.
it's not, you don't have any power to do.
No, well, we sent them back to the commission, that's what we did,
Right,
so.
and if they call me during the day, I would tell them that anyway. But if they complain about a specific piece of property, it's presenting,
Well, we just
A
need the
prejudice
proper
to the
guidance.
board.
We've always been told, at least I have, that we're not a punitive board. We're supposed to
Correct.
make people try to do the
Compliance.
correct compliance, not punitive. But yet the commission now, all of a sudden, says we're too easy on everybody. We're reducing all the fun. We're not doing what we're supposed to do, so.
Back before Richard Brooks, who's our chairperson that passed?
Jerry Horner.
Who
Jerry Warner.
Jerry Horner.
put let people speak. We've never had any issue with, and it's very, once in a blue moon, somebody's gonna say something that doesn't have a case. And now we fast forward, we got the same situation, and now they want to get rid of us because of one person said something that everybody hates. It's not right. I'm telling everybody, it's not
Yeah.
right. This hatred's gotta stop. This is ridiculous. And when we were at the commission meeting, the first thing, Frank said, well, there's one of the code enforcement person here, let's hear what he has to say. I was over talked, nobody, commission wasn't even paying no attention, it was like I wasn't standing
Wow.
there. And that's not the first time it's happened, and I know why it happened, but it's not right. And it's just gotta stop, this is just crazy. This, to me, it just feels like there's nothing but hatred for somebody, and when we come up with this stuff, and now they wanna get rid of us. I mean, it's just,
Yeah, I feel,
and spend our tax money to get a magistrate.
$500 a month. $6,000.
Some-
We don't, where's this money coming from? That's what I wanna know, where's the money coming from? Over hatred.
I'll read it.
And then we have the person who wasn't even at the meeting, over talks me, I'm at the meeting, I know what happened, and everybody just listens. Oh, and I saw the video, and I got the audio, I'm like,
And then Mr. Rudd's email packet to the commission, he wasn't at the meeting, and he said a bunch of stuff that wasn't accurate. I didn't think.
it's hatred, I mean, that's all it is. And everybody needs to get off this freaking social media, I'm tired of hearing about this
I'm not
social
on.
media.
I'm
I
not,
don't even do it,
I don't have that, I'm not on.
Social media, people walk around with feelings hurt or something, but people, they don't even matter.
Thank you, Chris.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Anything
just-
else, ma'am? I'm sorry, we cut you off in the middle of
Oh,
something.
That's okay.
I'm
No.
sorry.
That's all right.
Because, and like I said, and I felt it was, I felt it was my fault that they would get rid of the board because I was the one who recognized the handwriting of the letter. That's another thing. Every time I say something about that letter or what happened to me, it's just, like it ain't happened, there ain't no big thing. Oh, person just upset because they lost. They're fighting for their seat. I mean, what kind of
That's
stuff is that? That's, want to run my wife and I over and try to actually, she really killed us. Everybody was, oh, it's all right, she was defending her husband or wife or whatever. I've heard that already, this is crazy. I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry, you're allowed to speak. Am I allowed to speak? Oh, no, you're done.
But as you can see, Charles, since you're here, this is normally how our meetings normally go. We go with staff recommendations mostly all the time, all the time. That's how it goes.
Very rarely do we not
We
follow
don't have
things.
any other issues here at this meeting. Nothing, we don't have any craziness going on. We don't have that here. Usually our meetings don't last for 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
And we out the door.
Well, being the newest member on the board, only here 2 months, I know that the board has previously just been wonderful. There was never any complaints, but I do have to say that every board that I have been on has been squashed by the city. Span was squashed by the city, and I'm a member of the board of Span. The other boards that I have been on were squashed by the city, so we're 3 for 3. I was on 3 boards, and now 3 boards have been squashed by the city of Crescent City.
But to do this just because you don't like somebody is insane to me. It's
That works.
insane. Insane.
Okay, I've said my piece.
Do we have any questions, more questions about chapter 162 of the Florida statute?
No, ma'am, I know.
In our last meeting, you said that, when you get an order on a piece of property and the property owner owns more than one piece of property, and they violate the same code on a different piece of property, you can't file a repeat violation.
Wait. Let's start that over. We lost me.
Last in September, about the property on Main, and I said, make an order on this property, it will apply to all the property that they own in Crescent City.
When you say order, that's a citation?
Well, no, that's what you did tonight, you made an order,
Okay, and when we make an order to do something,
right?
it only applies to the parcel number that has been violated.
No,
It does not cross-attach until you record that lien, absolutely.
no.
Yes, I checked with an attorney to make sure.
Do you know the body?
Bobby, do you know?
What is it?
Or Mr. Kane, I'm sorry, I don't mean you.
What is it?
When she cites a property for a violation, at that point, it does not attach to any other properties. Once she records the lien, the code violation is recorded, at that point, it cross-attaches to any other properties owned by that owner. It doesn't cross-attach.
162.04.
Repeated violation has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Yes, it does.
A violation of a provision of a code by a person who has been previously found through a code board or other board to have violated, who has admitted violating the same provision. That's not the same thing.
Yes,
We're
it
not
is.
talking, no, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
That's talking about a person getting a repeat violation.
How do you see it?
Oops. Okay.
If you own more than one piece of property in a jurisdiction,
Yeah,
and you have a code violation on one property,
yeah.
the code officer can file an affidavit of repeat on the other property that's in violation of the same code. Same owner, two different pieces of property, or three, depends on how many pieces of property you own. Some people own multiple properties in a
I
jurisdiction.
understand that, but I'm 99.999% sure that does not happen till you record that lien.
That's what you're talking about, the lien? So explain your scenario for me.
If I own two pieces of property, and the code enforcement board finds me guilty of chapter 10-20,
And a lien's recorded.
whether it's recorded or not. If they find me in violation, and I say they give me till December 19th to correct it, I correct the violation. But then I have this other piece of property over here on Main Street, and it's the same violation. The code officer can file an affidavit of repeat on this property, provided it's the same code and the same property owner.
I feel like y'all are talking about two different.
I can't hear you.
I feel like we were just talking about, y'all are talking about two
So
different.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
We're
saying.
talking about two different things.
You're talking about that you can bring back another violation. I think she's talking about the lien.
Violating a property that's not in violation.
Yeah, one that's not in violation.
It's called cross-attachment of a lien.
We're not talking about that.
Well, that's what we were
Yeah.
talking
That's what
about.
I thought we were
I'm
talking
trying to
about.
tell you that we're not talking about that.
Okay, what are we talking
I
about?
understand, like this, Williams here. The lien on 720 Bay affects her property on Cummins.
Correct.
That's what you're talking about.
Cross attachment, yes.
Yes, because you recorded the
That's
lien.
not what I'm talking
Did
about.
you
Okay.
report-
That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay, then we're confused because we thought that's what you were talking about.
If I own two pieces of property in Crescent City,
Right,
and the code board finds me guilty on this piece of property, and I correct the violation,
yes.
in 5 years, if I repeat it on this piece of property, the code officer can file an affidavit of repeat on this property, provided it's the same violation, the same property owner, within 5 years of the original order on this property. And that's what this ordinance says.
Within
What does
five,
that, I'm so confused. Why would you do that as opposed to doing a new citation or new violation?
Because they've already been found guilty.
another violation.
Okay, but that's totally separate. We're talking definitely two separate things, right? Okay, I
So
agree.
you're saying that property that caused all this ruckus has violations on other properties?
Correct.
We didn't know that, for one thing.
I
So how
tried to
does that,
explain it to you.
so how does that,
Because I said if you find an order on the Main Street property, it would apply to any other property that that woman owned in Crescent City.
but I was under the impression the person bought the property on one day and got fined the very next day. Is that
That's not
correct?
true.
Is that the one we're talking about?
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
He did buy the property on one day and get,
It's
not
cited,
fined, he got cited the next day.
No, that's not correct either.
Well,
That's what it said in your thing.
No, it's not. He bought the property on May 2nd or 3rd, and I sent him a notice on June 6th, which was a month and 3 days later. Because
That's not what I'm not trying to argue with you, Pam. I could have sworn he bought it on the second and he was cited on the third.
That's what he
No,
said.
that's what he said, but that's not what really happened. And I had a PowerPoint presentation that said what I had done.
So, okay, and you're saying because, well, didn't you say, you said I've had problems with this property before, that's what you said.
The property owner before, I had cited them, they sold it, I knew it had been sold, and I had to wait to find out who owned it,
Uh-huh.
which why it took 4 weeks to send the new owner a letter. Because he bought it on May like 2nd or 3rd, and then I sent him a letter on June 6th. He was not, but he didn't buy the property on the 2nd and signed it on the 3rd.
Well, that's what he said.
That's what you all understood to happen, but that's not what really happened.
We had the real estate,
I
we had the
said-
real estate,
The deed.
the deed.
Right, we did.
So-
I'm not, he bought the, well, he did not buy the property, Amy, whatever her last name is, bought the property on May 2nd or 3rd. But the notice of code violation did not go to her until June 6th. Which was almost a month later, so she was in possession of the property over a month,
Why did it take so long before you noticed it though?
because I didn't know who bought it.
It takes 30 days
Takes
to,
30 days to get it recorded.
No, it does not.
It
It's
does.
recorded instantly.
no, but when
No,
it shows up
takes
on,
6 weeks to be reflected in the property appraiser's website.
In the property appraiser's
Yes.
website, not in the clerk's website.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
right, okay. All right, so we were talking tomatoes and oranges.
Right.
I apologize if I said anything wrong in that conversation.
Now we're all talking oranges.
Now, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure which word we're talking about.
Okay, done. But you agree that it doesn't cross attach until it's recorded, right? We agree on that?
Right, I
Okay,
agree
good.
with that.
Okay,
All right, good.
now, okay, not reflected on the property appraiser's website until recorded,
Right.
not reflected, okay.
All right, are we,
Do we have any other questions about chapter 162?
I don't think so.
I mean, what can we do?
Right.
Powers that be, you do what you
If
can.
we don't agree, we can change the, we can change it?
I don't know about that.
All right, so meeting adjourned, Karen, I'm sorry.
that's you, it's your call,
I
hon.
make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I didn't hear you. Sorry.
Okay. Okay.